next 6 to 8 weeks, the next month ahead for you, and hopefully help us all travel through opportunities, changes, and ultimately growth, because a big part of what I was connecting to in dreams and in meditations did have to do with growth opportunities. In fact, I saw a coin from the antiquity kind of tucked behind your ear, and we'll be talking about this in channeled messages. It was kind of a unique symbol. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about today. Little Apollo giving you lots of love here as we get started. I'm going to put him down so he can get back to sleepy time and properly introduce myself and set up the expectations for today. So my name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. This is for the sign of Pisces. As always, you can use this for Sun, Rising, Moon, Venus, or any aspect of your chart that you are aware of. So basically, my readings will work that way. You can watch as many for as many aspects as you'd like. There is a special portion towards the end where we actually cover Sun, Rising, and Moon, because one of the most frequent questions I get, even in the live, is I'm Pisces Rising or Pisces Moon. Will this apply to me? So anyway, yes, we will go through all of those a little bit later. And we are reading for the month ahead. And this is all about free will today. This is your opportunity to see what's coming and see what's available and make some intelligent choices, okay? I'm here to basically be your guide and be your channel and help you basically become empowered. That's the goal. The way that this is organized is we'll begin with the messages directly from Spirit, so that comes through dreams and meditations. That is when the reading begins. I'm just using a different divination method, being my head and my dreams, and then we'll get into the cards right after that. And the cards, I take two different approaches when I do the reading. I'll do a Celtic Cross that is broad spectrum, and then I will look at health, wealth, love, and destiny next. And then we'll get to the other pieces of this as we get into the reading. I don't want to overwhelm you at the beginning, so we'll start with intuitive messages from guides and then the cards, and then we'll talk about what else is coming. If you enjoy what you see today, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. It's also required if you're watching live to participate in chat, so please do that. A quick programming note. If everything goes well on Monday, there's a lot of construction here, so I'm trying to battle construction and move. But assuming the move goes through swimmingly and splendidly, I will be in my new place on Monday or Tuesday. Everything should be moved in. And so hopefully around Wednesday, I will kick off the new month. So please keep an eye on my channel page and social media. And of course, hit that bell icon and opt into all notifications so you know when I'm going live. It'll be at 9 a.m. Pacific, my old-fashioned time that I used to have, and that'll be a nice change from getting up like at 6:45 here. Well, getting up much earlier, but doing this at 6:45. Follow me on social media as well for reminders. I usually use the story feature, plus I will post on all of those social media platforms, upcoming events and information. Remember, I don't offer readings. I don't use messaging on that, so if anyone does that, realize that's not me. If you'd like to show some support in real time, you can do so through SuperChats, SuperStickers, and thanks also when it's on replay. That being said, let's get into your channeled messages. As I said, this portion comes through a lot of times the morning of when I'm reading for you. I'll be inundated with some dreams a couple hours before waking up, and I just tap all of those into my phone or scribble them on some paper so that I'll remember. So today it was really beautiful, the messages that I was receiving, and it really did have to do with growth. And I would say it's not just financial growth, but it's also your own sort of development and spiritual growth as well. So two pieces to look at: prosperity, and it came in as both like either an ace or a nine of coins, and we'll talk about that in a moment. And then trying to rationalize things, like in geometry when you had a proof and you try to go through all of these different things to prove that something was something. And what I was realizing as we were looking at this is something didn't add up. That could, and we'll talk more in a second, but it's about trusting your heart and trusting also if things don't feel right or look right, sometimes at face value, that's exactly what it is. So let's talk about the dream and talk about the coin. So in dreams, I was looking at a figure which would represent you, and there was a coin right behind their ear. And either they had forgotten about it or they had tucked it there for safe keeping. Obviously, this is symbolic. You wouldn't put a coin there. But energetically, it was just sitting right there above the ear, and I could see just enough of it showing through the hair that I was asking, what is that? I was able to see the coin, and it was from the antiquity. It looked like it had like Julius Caesar's face on it or something. And long story short, I was given the number 9 or 900 with it. And I would say, we'll talk about that in a second, but basically I would say there could be like 9 of Pentacles energy coming, which is a lot of abundance. But it all began with 1 coin. And in tarot, that would be an Ace of Pentacles or an Ace of Coin. So here's what I intuited from that. I think that there is an idea or an opportunity that you've been sort of thinking about, and it's ready to bear fruit. It's ready to come forth. Also, Spirit is tucking these ideas into your subconscious. So if you're sitting around thinking, I have this, this far out idea. What if I did this? What if I attempted that? It's actually a gift from Spirit, and it's trying to help you reach into a new direction. And so as we see with this ace, are you in the receiving sort of energy of that, or are you more in the 4 of Cups energy where you're like, I don't know, that's not me, or that won't work, or into some of that sort of pushing away. So if you're ready to receive, messages are incoming, prosperity is incoming. The number 9 is significant. I'm not yet sure how, and for all of you, it's going to be different. It could be, for instance, 9 days, 9 weeks, 9 months, or financial number, multiple of 9, or the 900 like I was shown. 9 of Pentacles, if we take what we can look at here easily in tarot, is a very, very good card because it indicates the slow and steady sort of win to a race. So sometimes people run real fast and they kind of run out of fuel, right? And, so they may lead the pack at the beginning if we're looking at like track and field or long distance running. But if they burn up all the fuel at the beginning, then they don't have anything for the later portions of that, latter portions of the race. So if you are steady and consistent and hardworking and you persevere past some of the disappointments or some of the challenges, there's rewards that are awaiting you here with this sort of message. Typically, you would see a little tiny snail at the bottom of that card, but suffice it to say, taking your time is important and looking out beyond immediate gratification this year, this week, this month is going to be key. 9, of course, can be associated roughly with pregnancy. It can be 9 or 10 months. But that'll be the next message here, is kind of like birthing, creation. And again, it's an extension of this. There's something that some idea, something that you want to put out into the world, something that you are kind of holding in like the Empress. And when you are ready to share that, when you're ready to birth that, great things start to come forth for you. So this came to me as I was preparing for the reading today. A lot of times when we figuratively approach a finish line, the emotions can run the gamut. And I put here like joy because, oh my God, I'm doing it. Disbelief, is this really happening? Am I achieving what I tried to? And sometimes it's anticlimactic because the buildup was so rich and so deep that there's almost no way that this one moment can encapsulate everything that you've been building up to. But it kind of is if you can be more present in that. And then there's also a little bit of fear associated with what comes next. So I think many of you are either at the beginning where you're looking at the road and you're like, how am I going to get up that hill? And then some of you are at the top thinking, what am I going to do next? Either way, if you've done all of this, you have all these sort of energies that I talked about with the Empress in the final bullet. She is powerful. She is fruitful. She is rich. She is abundant. She's one of the best cards in the major arcana because she can do everything. And she's the queen. We like that. So you can do all of this stuff. You have rich divine feminine energy around you, flowing through you this month. Release the fears, hold space for something new. Whether it's the beginning or it's the beginning of a new beginning, aka an end, there's still a door that's open. So you just have to keep going through one door after another, and that's basically life. It's just a series of interconnecting doors and opportunities. We can stop at any one of them and say, I've had it, this is enough, but there are more doors opening for you should you decide to explore and take those opportunities. Okay? We have a couple more slides. I just wanted to see where we were. The next piece was all about the sort of mathematics of trying to understand something. So I was watching as you were trying to kind of pencil out a thought, an idea, basically maybe wrestling with something. And no matter how long you worked at it, it wasn't adding up. The proof didn't work. We were, whatever you were trying to look at, it didn't feel right. So if other people are trying to convince you to do something and your high priestess, third eye, inner self sort of says, it's just not me, or there's something that doesn't add up about this, then that's it. That's good enough. You don't have to try to Five of Swords yourself to make it a verb, just because like sometimes we argue with ourselves and we won't let the intuitive side win. If it doesn't add up, it doesn't add up. So I think this is kind of bringing us to the final card here, which is to take a leap of faith and travel into something new that may be uncharted territory. Also in that uncharted territory, there may be no theories that apply because it's new, it's unexplored, undiscovered country. So there's this lyric from an old Indigo Girls song from like the 90s, Power of Two, where this is kind of the lyric. It says, so long ago when we were taught that whatever kind of puzzle you've got, you just stick the right formula in. There's a solution for every fool. So that's one of the things with math or with like old facts. And it's just sort of like, well, we did this before. If you do this, it should work again. There's chances for learnings. We don't want to necessarily repeat history. We don't want to reinvent the wheel, but I really like that line, like a solution for every fool. Not everything can be easily fit into a box or will work with what worked before. So the fool piece being the thing that we want to mind here, you have to explore, you have to try something new. There's calculated leaps of faith. So sometimes you have to take that path a little less traveled, follow your heart, not what people are pressuring you to do, or what looks good on paper. Because also you need to do the math for yourself, basically. There's a lot of different ways that we can take this metaphor. So are you ready to explore? Does this risk calculate as something that you feel good about? And if not, at the end of the day, your heart and your third eye are going to lead you in the right direction. So just trust in that natural ability for you to problem solve and sort things out. Okay? So welcome everybody. Quick recap of where we're at. We're going to go into the Celtic Cross next. And the Celtic Cross is going to be a broad sort of exploration of the opportunities, and then we'll look at health, wealth, love, and destiny after that. Then we have a bunch of interactive elements that will follow, so stick around and enjoy. If you have any questions I don't answer in real time here, except as I'm pulling the cards, obviously there'll be messages coming through, but there is an area at the very end for a final card and final question where you can silently meditate on a question if you have one. All right. So let's figure out which decks. Yesterday, someone was asking for Modern Witch, so I'm gonna go for that one and see what else is coming through. You can throw out a request as I'm getting some of these set up here, and I'll see if I can put some different cards out that we haven't seen for a while. So this was a request from yesterday, Modern Witch. Let's see. Maybe I'll pull the Raven's Prophecy as well for you. Let's see. Maybe Fountain Tarot. And Prisma Visions. Pull this one into rotation as well. All right. Let's get this camera set up here. Okay. And I will put together a poll and show you all of these cards here, so you can also make an informed decision. Okay, so give me a second here to get the poll set up, and then we will vote, and then we will begin. Okay, so today I threw a few different options out. So we have Modern Witch, we have Raven's Prophecy, we have the Fountain Tarot, and Prisma Visions. Some slightly different ones. Okay, so let me show you a few of these cards so you can see what you're voting for. This is option number 1, Modern Witch, nice and colorful, very much true to Rider-Waite-Smith. Just a few alterations, but I love it overall. I like that some of the kings are actually, they flip the gender on some of these, so that's cool, and definitely just beautiful recoloring of the cards. Raven's Prophecy is completely its own thing. It does not look like Rider-Waite-Smith, and I have to actually look sometimes to make sure that the card is right, because, for instance, the Hierophant looks like the lantern that you would see with the Hermit, so you have to look closely. But it's a cool deck. Has a few quirks, but I like it. Fountain Tarot is a beautiful, ethereal, sort of very open and airy deck. And I like this one quite a bit. And it's not a direct Rider-Waite-Smith sort of deck either. These both veer off in their own paths. This one definitely veers into its own path as well. So this one looks like a big Vincent van Gogh painting. That's the best way that I can sum it up. If you look at any of the court cards in this, they actually, and you put them together, they create a scene, which is kind of cool. All right, so let's see which ones you are all choosing for me today. It looks like Fountain Tarot by a large degree, by 40%. So let's end this poll. I'll give it a chance to finalize, but it looks like this is the one that's winning. All right, so Fountain won by a resounding 35%. Thank you, everybody. Okay, let's get started. We're going to look at the Celtic Cross here. Again, this can be used for the next 6 to 8 weeks for any aspect of your chart, Sun, Rising, Moon, Venus, etc. And let's begin. Oops, let's do it this way. There we go. Let me just set this up so I can see you better. There we go. Let me just adjust the camera as well. It got pushed as I was moving my stuff earlier. There we go. That's better. Sorry, I'm just adjusting it a little bit because I was, through all my moving, some of the stuff got bumped here. So I'm trying to leave this area until the very end. By the way, a quick scheduling note. I will be doing my weekend collective on Saturday, not Sunday. And that is, again, so that I can pack up this whole room. I'm leaving this as the last room that I'm packing, and I need to finish it up tomorrow. Oops. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully your week has gone well, your new moon went well as well, and you are looking forward to today. All right, I think this is a really great time to have a reading because it's kind of a nice clean slate. So as we look at these opportunities, you can really kind of embrace them. All right, we have the Medicine Guardian here as your catalyst. A catalyst, of course, is a way to stay in that energy of movement, to create new movement as well. It's the first and the most important thing that we need to focus on, and it connects the other cards here. So taking care of yourself, first of all, with the Medicine Guardian. So for many of you, this is about making sure that your body, your mind, your spiritual self is being provided for. I look at medicinal or alchemic cards in Oracle also as a connection to the magician. And the magician manifests what they're feeling and what they're thinking. So try to move away from fear or anxiety. Try to be as proactive as possible. Ask as many questions when you're starting to feel those energies of fear or anxiety or uncertainty. Education is one of the best sort of ways to neutralize those lower frequencies. So ask, simply ask. And then also looking at what you are putting into your mind, body, and spirit. So environment plays a big role in happiness, part of the reason I'm getting out of this space. But this can also include work environment, your relationship, of course. This can also be what you're putting into your body as far as like diet or substances, etc. So we want to clean everything up. This is the goal as we're looking into the month ahead, is to try to clean out your energy so that you can be a clear channel. And that is ultimately what the magician does as well. It's not just about what's in front on the altar of the magician. It's also that the magician serves as a conduit or a channel for basically spiritual energy, insight, inspiration, all of that jazz, all that good stuff. And we want you to be in that sort of same receptive energy as much as possible. Let's look at your center card. By the way, we got the Ace of Coins here. I was excited to see that, and it's showing up in the area of self. But we're going to begin with a different ace, the Ace of Swords. Although this particular ace is upright, you'll notice that the illustrator chose to show the sword going down. So when I look at this, it's almost as if it's a call to action. Like, are you ready to sign on the dotted line? Are you ready to make a change? Do you need to edit something? Basically, this is a prompt to action and for action. And so the universe is kind of nodding and saying, okay, so now what? And it's up to you to decide now what? And that is very much in alignment with what I was feeling as I connected to that geometric sort of theorem where it was sort of like, this isn't working, what do we do? Or the Fool card where it was saying like, I feel like I need to make a change. Or even the Nine of Pentacles or the number 9, or that idea of the Empress where it was all about letting go but being afraid of what would come next. This is just saying, no, you're in the flow of creativity. Keep channeling, keep writing, keep acting, keep doing, okay? Using your voice and using your words, very powerful. I looked at this yesterday, I believe, when I was pulling the one card for the day. So whenever we have one of the Swords cards, whether it's an ace or one of the court cards, there is this ability to be very much in your power and in the flow. Are you ready to take action is what I would say here. And people are waiting for a verbal or written response or a request or an initiation from your court. So speak up, act out whatever you need to and get this going. Crossing that, we actually have a wonderfully receptive card, the Eight of Pentacles. So this is also very geometrical, isn't it? It looks like what I was kind of tuning into here, but we have a hypercube being set up, and a tesseract is another word for that. And a tesseract is a chance for you to get to the next phase of the journey faster than you would think. For any of you that have read the young adult book, A Wrinkle in Time, in the book they show a string with an ant going across the string, and basically they show if you were to take the distance and create this loop underneath it, the ant has less space to crawl across. And the idea there being that there could be an easier way to get where you're going. Things could get done a little faster. It may be that path less traveled. But there's a solution that is not what others would see. This requires your sort of vision, your ability to see beyond. And that's kind of exciting here. Eight of Pentacles in its traditional sense, not this kind of cool hypercube, is also a nod from the universe saying you will get a return on this energetic investment. Good examples of this usually would include training or specialization of some sort, going to school, deciding to really put your all into something and paying attention to all those little details until you're feeling very, very good about it. So it's a nod and it's a yes and it's a check from the universe on all of that. This is about you speaking up and doing what feels right, putting it into writing. These two together absolutely would constitute writing. So it could be a written contract. It could be those of you that are creative and want to compose or edit or write something. It could also be a message for those of you that are scientific, since I was picking up on math and science in my dreams. And this could be like a research paper or some sort of a patent. There's so many types of writing and documents, but that's what I'm seeing. Something of value. It brings value to you, and it may bring pentacles to you as well. So looking pretty good here. I see something on the horizon, and it's just a matter of you listening, receiving, and deciding what do I want to do about this. In the deep past, we see why this is coming through. We have the Queen of Pentacles, big old coin there, the coin being a common, even though I'm reading for water, there's a lot of earth and a lot of resources coming to you today. So Queen of Pentacles reversed. It's okay to take care of yourself. There are times where being focused on self is appropriate. So the Queen of Coins is doing just that. She's typically very nurturing, very giving. I love the abundant green, rich emerald color that's on this card. What a great Queen of Pentacles. This is one of my favorites. And this is exactly how I would kind of envision her, just feeling like everything that I touch, it's kind of like a green thumb. I can see growth, I can see movement. She has helped many people in her life. And now she's saying, it's a little bit of a chance now for me to receive. I'm ready to do this for myself. And I'm not going to feel bad because I've done a lot for others and I've worked for this moment of abundance. So nurture yourself. If you had someone in your life that you wanted sort of nurturing energy from, a mom, a boss, a friend, even your partner, this is saying in this moment in time, especially in this moment in time, if they haven't been able to give to you the way you needed to, that doesn't negate your power. And it's okay for you to basically do what's necessary to repair, to nurture, and to be that universal mom for yourself. Okay? So beautiful, powerful energy here. If she could speak to you, she would say you're worth it. You've earned this moment, and you are valuable. So for those of you that are stuck because your parents didn't give you the support or your teachers didn't give you the support that you needed, she's coming through to say, I'm sorry that happened. I can't make that better, but I can tell you that you have choices now in what you want to do with your power, and you are powerful and worthy of great things. Are you ready to receive? And that's a question only you can answer. Eight of Swords in reverse. See beyond what's obvious. See beyond the visible. See what's there. So we'll look at the card in the upright position. Always a blindfolded card, often feeling hedged in, painted into the corner, trapped. The interesting thing is I like the idea of being painted in because you can do it, you can undo it. And a lot of times you're thinking it, but you can unthink it. So simply opening up to the idea that there's a way to make this happen. There's a way out. There's a way. Full stop. There is a way. So I think the main thing for you is to stop focusing on the blocks and start focusing on the opportunities. I have a special portion towards the center where I'll look at blessings and blocks. So let's pay special attention to that. You'll see it right here. And we'll hopefully be able to kind of like figure out a way around the Eight of Swords. But with the reversal, it's about your eyes opening up. And sometimes you see something you don't want to see with either Two of Swords or Eight of Swords in reverse. So just stay open. Try to reserve judgment for later. Just feel it out, and you'll be able to discern what to do about it as soon as you kind of trust your heart and your third eye. All right? Let's look at your crowning card here. What a great energy to be capping off this month. It's the Eight of Wands, and it's a light at the end of the tunnel. Literally on this card, you can sort of see this beautiful sun rising on the horizon, what looks like train tracks or a road here laid out in front of you. The card is reversed, so what happens a lot of times with the Eight of Wands is that we can feel like we're lost in the shuffle. There's a couple of decks, I'm trying to remember in my head which ones. I think it might be Wildwood has this, and I think the Little Prince has it. This is also a card of community. Each one of those rays of light, or in a traditional deck, each one of those wands was thrown into action by someone else. So you're part of a greater whole, and you are also part of a team, or there's energy around you that can help you out. But it's about reaching out and connecting with those sometimes disparate, but also, like-minded or like goal sort of like energy. So people that are trying to do the same thing or have the same sensibilities, they're within reach, if not already part of your team or your family or connections. So reach out. Long story here, reach out. The traditional Eight of Wands would say things are happening at a rapid pace. You're going to be fine. This is usually not a card of falling behind. The only thing that's going on now is that there could be some prioritization. I would say either ask for help or let something go. Wands is wonderful as a suit because there are very few difficult cards. Almost every card is a blessing. And one of the cool things that you can do is do less but do it better. So for instance, if you were to take a lot off your plate and you got, if we subtract, you could go to the Six of Wands and be successful. You could go to the Four of Wands and find love or a friendship. Three of Wands and start to manifest something new. Two of Wands and go back into dreaming. And then an Ace is a new idea. Like almost every single card is a blessing within Wands. Seven's a little tricky, but by and large, they're all good. Sevens and nines have a little bit of struggles within them. But overall, they all equal you're making progress and you're doing well. So do a little less, but do it better. Delegate so that you can focus. It's okay to not have everything at once. The only reason I mention that is it's reverse. The other thing is saying you don't even need to let go of something. Just focus on the goal. This is saying the end is within sight. We can see a light at the end of the tunnel. Let's focus on what we're trying to do here. Focus is really all that's necessary to make success happen at this moment in time. Okay. Let's take a look at what's coming through in the near future. And we have the 10 of Wands here. Speaking of Wands, 10 of Wands in reverse, which for some of you is a call to let go of the burden. It can be an emotional burden, the 10 of Wands. It also is completion. In different decks, you would see this person at the top of a hill. In this particular deck, we see them looking at everything in front of them and sometimes feeling like it's a lot. I'm going to show you a couple of different 10 of Wands and we'll sort out what you should do. But traditionally, if we're looking at Rider-Waite-Smith, which I'm about to do, I'm out of focus. What I would say for you to focus on yourself is, I've worked so hard to get to this moment in time. And this was what I was kind of picking up on in channel messages. I'm not going to let go. I'm not going to feel overwhelmed. I'm not going to let this get into my headspace. Instead, I'm going to push. I'm going to persevere, and I'm going to trust that I'm A-okay. So the 10 of Wands is both a card of completion, but there can also be burden or feeling like that extra weight is on your back. So the most important thing you can do right now is if it's getting too heavy, if the burden's getting too heavy, talk to someone. If you're feeling kind of like this person, well, actually what they've created is a wheel. Looks like they've made their own wheel of fortune with that 10 of Wands. So it's really just about setting it free, setting it into motion. And that very much is aligned to the Empress energy that I was picking up on in channel messages. So you're almost there. We saw it with the 8 of Wands. We see it with the 10 of Wands. It's just a matter of setting it into motion and setting it free or letting it go. And if you need to talk to someone, like the pressure of success or, maybe if you're going through a really challenging situation, that could be weighing heavily on you and it could be impeding your sort of day-to-day goals and work and life. So talk to someone if you need to. That's what I get with that. It's just that there's a lot of stress or a lot of pressure. Sometimes we put the pressure on ourselves to succeed. This can also be peer pressure or someone that abuses their power or position, or they're even verbally a little pushy. And so if there's anyone in your life that's trying to do that, hold strong, stand tall, and remember what you're trying to do. Don't let them veer you from your focus or from your power or source energy, which we see on this card. Okay? All right. So let's take a look now at what's coming through for self. And it's the beautiful Ace of Pentacles, so nicely aligned with your dream messages today. So the card was reversed, but I love what we see if we look really, really closely at this. It's basically two hands outreached saying, yes, I'm ready, bring it on. The card in reverse is not necessarily positive or negative. It's saying something's landing in your lap. Are you ready? And it feels like there is a sort of sense of immediacy with this. So it feels like you need to take action sooner rather than later. So that coin is here and it wants to be invested. And with that coin comes more. So invest in yourself, invest in a dream or an idea, take a leap, as I talked about, do something. There is that call, and it's up to you if you want to answer or not, but it feels like there's a timing associated with this. Could be a new job for some of you, by the way. Could be a proposal for marriage. It could be an exciting opportunity. There's nothing negative thus far about what I'm seeing. It's just saying it's happening. And for some of you, the fact that it is happening or it's about to happen could be a little bit like, what am I going to do? We have friendship and love and support and a really solid new beginning here in the environment here. So the 4 of Wands, which I touched upon when I was talking about all the different Wands cards. So the card is also reversed, which is saying that friends and alliances could come from unexpected places. And one of your opportunities is to look at someone in a different light. There may be someone in your life who loves you like a sibling, or loves you, a friend that you didn't realize there was this deep love for. So it could just be, platonic soulmate energy, in a friendship. There could be sort of sibling-like energy, or it could be love. Love could be budding from what began as just a regular friendship. This is a very nice way to step into love because it's a little bit of a happy surprise, but I always love to see Four of Wands in a love or marriage reading. So when we look at relationships, for those of you seeking love, I'll revisit that, but if you're seeking it, it's good. If you're looking at business and existing relationships, it's also good, but it's saying the partner needs a little bit of confirmation of how you feel. They feel a way about you, a good way about you, but they want to make sure that before they wear their heart on their sleeves or go out on a limb, again, even for a business venture, that you are invested. So saying thank you, or saying I value you. I appreciate what you did. I'm so happy we're working together. I'm so happy I'm being considered for whatever it is. That is exactly I think their heart needs a little bit of a jump start, and then things will go in the right direction. Okay, so express yourself to them, express your feelings of gratitude rather, and love and appreciation, and these things are going to help nurture and feed this great energy around you. Suffice it to say, no matter what you're trying to do, Four of Wands is great to have in the environment. Strong bonds, firm foundations, holding space for something new. Field of dreams, if you build it, they will come. In a lot of the Four of Wands cards, you'll just see the room for the couple to step into, even if they're not there yet, and that's a big piece of that. Hopes, fears, and opportunities. We have the Chariot. It's your turn. It's probably also a karmic opportunity for you to take charge. We see an overprinted horse here in two directions. So sometimes we see two horses, but this is a horse that's saying, which way do I go? The artist did some really cool things with the cards in this deck. It's very fun as an intuitive reader to read it because you get different interpretations every time. And that's what I'm getting. But there is, you know where you want to go and you know what you want to do, but there's either a lack of trust or a lack of communication. And the people that would follow you, which are represented by the horse, they don't know. So the signal that's being sent, even though we're looking at the Chariot, your center card was to send a clear signal, to write it down, get it out there. This person or these people or this environment is waiting for some sort of confirmation. Something's up with the communication of what your idea is. So maybe go back to the drawing board or sharpen it a little bit or repeat it. Sometimes people just need to hear it again and again. I've told the story many times about when I quit. I had to do it about 3 or 4 times so that it would stick, because people kept asking, are you sure? Have you talked to this person, or you need to do this? So I had to keep saying it, and around the 4th time it was done. So sometimes we have to repeat with confidence and with clarity what our intent is, and eventually people get it. This is also true of announcing things. If there is a new product launch, for those of you that have come out in your life for any number of reasons, you have to keep saying it. And spiritually, we do this all the time. We have to come out and say what we want and declare things. So that's really what this Chariot is saying, is make sure that people get the point, and then keep pushing down that path and keep saying what you are planning to do, and keep repeating it. Eventually people will get it. Okay, so there's a little bit of rote learning that's going to happen with the people around you, and there's also an opportunity to communicate even more clearly than you have, even if you think you're a great communicator. There's something that could be sharpened or tailored to different audiences. Okay, and now we have the Hanged Man reverse, which is speaking to patience, divine timing, and not rushing something. So back when I was looking at channeled messages earlier, I talked about slow and steady winning the race. So the Hanged Man in reverse is stating just that. It's okay, you're nearly there. If there's just a little more to do and you're getting pressured, because the 10 of Wands can be pure pressure when it's reversed, you're not going to succumb to that kind of pressure. You're going to say, no, I want to make sure that everything's running in the right direction, that this is built to last. And the Hanged Man is rewarding that extra diligence. Sometimes things come at the 11th hour. You think you're done, but you're not. So let's say you are an artist and maybe like a composer or a musician. You have an album you've been working on. You think everything's done. 9 tracks have been laid down, but then the 10th one comes to you just about at the end when everybody's ready to go and take a break. you're going to be in the channel, you're going to flow, and you're going to let that go, because there might be something really beautiful that may be your sort of like signature sound. For the rest of us, we may look at everything. I knew that, like, I just went through the moving process when I got rid of all my mom's stuff when she passed away a few months ago, but I had to get everything out of that house that she was in, apartment rather. But it took me 5 or 6 last attempts to go back in and look, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot this. Oh yeah, there's this. So there's something else worth your attention and time. Don't rush. Either you're missing something, or you forgot something, or you're being gifted one last very valuable thing that is going to be the cherry on your cake or your dessert. So don't give up that cherry. That's what this was all for. Put the whipped cream on the cherry and embrace this final thing that wants to come through for you. And it's inconvenient, yes, but don't rush. People can wait an extra day. You deserve to kind of see this through completely, and really something beautiful will come because you didn't rush. That's what the Hanged Man is telling you today. We're now going to move into, not the channel messages, but we're going to go into the expanded forecast, looking at health, wealth, love, and destiny. This is the portion where we go a little bit deeper into all those different aspects of our life. So let's do it. As we take a look at health cards, I always like to just remind you that I'm here to help you navigate energetic opportunities in your life. If there's anything going on in your body or your mental health, obviously you're going to work with a professional. Same thing with your financial health. But I'm going to help you look at energetic triggers and doors and opportunities with respect to all of that. And then you get to decide what to do. All right, we're going to look at your oracle card that's summing up health. And it basically shows growth. And we see the toadstools here, funny kind of message here. But interesting thing when I'm looking at that, so we're looking at mushrooms. And mushrooms are really fascinating totems. I've worked with them before, because there's sort of like this network of roots that go in a forest floor for any of these sort of fungi colonies, if you will. And so one thing that I'm looking at here with this card is that you have a support system, because that's a network. I've done this totem enough that I can actually remember certain things. So there is a network that's there for you. Lean into that. Friends, chosen family, community, professional connections, whatever it is. If you need help, if you're going through a lot, and some of you might be going through a lot right now, then lean into that network. Other things that I love about mushroom as a sort of totem when we're looking at health is that something positive can come out of stagnation. So if you've been stagnating in a part of your life, this is a time where you're going to escape that, where you're going to transform, because that's what a mushroom does. It's working through sort of, that decaying material, and something else comes through. So if it feels like things haven't been working, this is almost like death reversed. This is the month for a breakthrough sort of moment. And that's one of the things that I'm going to put on the list for voting. So you feel free, Pisces, if you want to vote for that. Moving up, moving out, moving on, some of that sort of energy definitely coming through for you. So maybe worth voting for that. I'll put the poll up later today. I just have a lot that I'm doing today because I got to do this, the one card reading, and then I'm going to put up the poll for tomorrow. So probably by the afternoon, it should be up. Ultimately, whatever you're going through, it's allowing for growth. We have the caption beneath the toadstools is saying it's growth. So if you look at yourself and say, why did I have to go through this to get to this? Because you chose to, because energetically the lesson will be more sort of solidified. As long as you're learning, you're fine. You're exactly where you need to be at this moment in time. Okay? So let's take a look at all the different cards here and how they might also connect to some health messages for you. We have to revisit the catalyst here with Medicine Guardian. So take a look at what you're putting into your body. There may be some adjustments. This is something you would work with doctors and professionals with, obviously, but there might be some adjustments in how much you're taking, what you're doing. Sometimes there can be interactions. So definitely take a look at drugs and drug interactions with your appropriate health professionals with respect to that. Let's see what else we're looking at here. The 10 of Wands is a cautionary card with respect to health. It's saying that in this moment in time, the stress, the mental stress that you're feeling could create sort of like you losing your patience or you getting fatigued or whatever. So take care of that so that you don't have hypersensitivity right now to things and then say something that you regret. Like 10 of Wands can lead to the 10 of Swords if it's not remedied. It can also deal with the back. So for those of you that use your back for work, so manual labor, lifting things up, or you're like me, you're going to be moving. This is also a cautionary note for things like that. Let the other people do what they need to do. Wear a brace if you need to. Give your spine some love. Get a massage or a chiropractic adjustment, etc. And if you have anything that feels like it's out of sorts in that part of your body, definitely work with a professional to get that checked out. Otherwise, the energy is really good, I would say, for the month ahead. Always when I see 8 of Swords, you have to pay attention to something and talk to a doctor. If there's something you don't feel good about or you need information on, be inquisitive. If you're having trouble seeing, go to the optometrist. Otherwise, the cards are really good. Okay, so let's move on from health and take a look at wealth. We have Eagle and communication. So this one's like easy to interpret. Many of you just need to look up and get a different perspective. And I'm sorry, it's communion, not communication. But the communion card is even more powerful because that's saying connection to source. Communication, however, is a part of this. And remember, what we were talking about here is stating what you want, believing that you can do it, and kind of restating it until it sets in. When you are in that moment of doubt, the communion energy is going to be important to you because that is saying, I need to reconnect with source, with this light at the end of the tunnel so that I can be in my power. And so take time to do that. You may also have a communion with a kindred spirit in the area of work or school or personal growth. The 4 of Wands it's a different kind of love. So let's just look at the traditional card for a moment, just to remind ourselves what it looks like. And hold space to find what you're looking for. I've been talking, I can't wait to get out of this apartment that I'm in right now because the construction is nonstop. But I really worked hard to find the right new space for myself. And it was just about at that moment where I'm like, it needs to happen right now that it happened. So hold space and don't give up faith. It's really important. And I just recently went through that internal thing where you're thinking, is it going to happen? Will it happen? I really want this and this and this and this. So this is the traditional 4 of Wands. So we see the 4 Wands indicating, marriage and friendship and support. It can also indicate a space that feels good, a space that feels welcoming. We see those people in the background saying, welcome home. So for those of you, this could be a spiritual tribe, a new friendship, a new living or working situation. And it may not yet have appeared, but you're holding in your third eye what this is going to look and feel like. And that is going to feel very, very good when you step into it. And it will feel like this communion card where it's like, I found it. Okay. So it's right here. It's right behind your ear. Listen to what you're being told, because I see that you're being given a clear path or the resources that will give you what you need to find the next thing. Okay. Let's specifically look at what's going on for those of you that are currently in a job. Then we'll look at like job seeking and then just general messages for well-being and career, especially for those of you that are retired, like what to do with your time and energy. All right, so for those of you currently in a job, you may be considering getting additional training, investing in yourself. We got both the Ace of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse state, but then we get a return on that investment, a big check plus here with this. So yes and yes. So for some of you, it's time to develop skills or to do something for yourself. The further you get in your career, sometimes the less you want to go back to school or do something, but there is an opportunity to sharpen your skills a bit, and it's definitely worth it if and when it presents itself. Okay. The next piece of information here for people that are currently working is communion. Again, we're looking at this great energy. I feel like you should be developing either a mentorship opportunity or communicating something that you really, really want, because the universe wants to come through. So I see a mentor for some of you stepping in, and there could also just be, and we're kind of now moving towards those that are seeking a new job, but there could be a really great rapport that you have with someone that you're interviewing with or someone that you're talking to. So I like that for you as well. One thing that is being looked at for those of you in a current job is management skills or initiative, and then also like communication. All of these things are opportunities for sharpening or improvement, but I'm definitely feeling confident about where you're headed and your capacity to do that. Be patient with yourself, continue to work on that, and you're going to get where you want to go. Ultimately, it's all looking pretty good. It does feel like to me it's time for something to develop further. Like some of you might be getting an itch for something new, something different, and you're getting a little bit maybe bored or very, very used to what you're doing. So speak up. Talk to them about the different skills that you have and say, this is where I see myself. How can we make this happen? The good news is we're not seeing, I didn't get death reversed. The Hanged Man is saying patience will be rewarded. So many of you are going to decide. I said multiples of 9. So you might decide that it's really going to be like September, like, 9th month or something. Or it's going to be 9 weeks would roughly be a couple of months, or it could be a year and a half from now or something like that. Or half a year, a little over half a year is what I meant to say. 3/4 of a year, right? That would be 9. So it's something in that nature where there's a 9 attached to it, 9 weeks, 9 months, but probably not more than that. And that will help you, or the 9th month of the year. So maybe let that be a sort of a guide if you're trying to find out how long should I wait. For those of you that are job seeking, it comes through friends or connections. And if you're feeling like you're stagnating, it's who you know, not just what you know. What you know will get you in the door, but who you know will actually land the interview. So that's the important thing, is to reach out to the network. I do see opportunities presenting themselves. This is also saying, have you thought of being more entrepreneurial? Queen of Pentacles, definitely an entrepreneur. Ace of Pentacles reverse, saying I can do this. Chariot coming through as a leadership card. So I like all of those for you as well. And for those of you that might be retired or a student and you're just looking at time and energy management, the focus should be on people that you love and creating new relationships that are important to you. So activities, extracurricular activities are coming through even more than, don't lose track of what you're studying, what you're doing, but these relationships are going to help you. Okay, so it is focus on relationships for those of you that are either retired or self-employed or unemployed and wondering what else to do with your time and energy. It's all focused on personal relationships and development there. Okay, so really good messages with respect to career. It feels like it's a good time for you. Patience might be tried, but the ultimate thing is completion. So this is completion, and don't rush it and take more of a leadership role. And everything that you're doing is working out, and people are noticing. And there's something new that's going to come through all of this. So ultimately, I like it. All right, let's take a look at your relationships. And this is going to be, we'll look at it in 3 different areas for those of you in a relationship looking for love or single and happy. But let's focus on the overarching message for all relationship types and also the relationship with self. And it's all about your intuition. And this is the Hanged Man, by the way. Odin is the Hanged Man, okay? So he was hanging from the tree of knowledge in order to get the basically the knowledge of the runes, the secrets to the universe. And it took time. It took a little bit of blood. It took some energy. And so what he's saying is patience, it pays off. And your patience may be tried in relationships this month. So let's read the card, but definitely you're going to learn something about yourself or about the other person. Until that lesson has been integrated, then you're going to be in that relationship. And this could be this is important for those of you that are in a contentious relationship, acrimonious sort of energy. So if you don't like someone in your life and you want them gone, the important thing to realize is, what are they teaching me? Why did I call them in? What are they mirroring from my shadow side that I need to deal with? The sooner I know the lesson, the sooner I realize why I pulled them in and what I'm contributing to it, the sooner I can release them. Okay? And then if there's an argument or a difficult time going up between you and your partner or friend or whoever it is that's closest to you, same energy goes through that, because you may want to stick with them in the long run, but you have to release this little rough patch. All right, so it says your third eye is open, see the truth for what it is, follow your intuition, psychic insight. 8 of Swords in reverse is also that. I didn't want to see it, but I see it. Okay? So let's see what you're seeing in these relationships, but ultimately, Odin, that eye is wide open. he may only have one eye, but he gained a lot. Like it's kind of, he's actually a very cool symbol for seers or for psychic energy. So I'm happy that he came through. Let's see how he can guide us through relationships at this moment in time. All right, starting for those of you that are already in a relationship, we have Ace of Swords at the center. This is the most important card for you. It's all about communication. The clearer your communication, again, the Chariot is part of that. I want this, let's do this, I'm ready for this. So stating intent, it may be something new for you because many of you have been giving a lot and now it's time to take or declare or set expectations. And it's okay, that's part of relationships, give and take. You can't just give. Like a battery, you have to refill. So speaking up and then also putting into writing some of this stuff as well. So stating expectations. Now, for those of you that are getting married, this is a prenuptial. This is legal. This is a document. This is the marriage. And this is making sure that you're both getting what you want and that you're protected. Okay? Slow down and go through that first. Same thing for those of you that are starting any contract. Get it in writing and make sure that you're getting what you need, that both sides aren't overlooking something. Other aspects for existing relationships. Something came up, something came out, something was revealed. It doesn't need to be the end of the world because we see friendship here, deep friendship between you and the one that you love. There's a need for you to do something about this and take action. But patience, as we saw here, patience is key. And then remembering this sort of communion energy and kind of digging into that and saying, you know, we were both part of this rich friendship and this divine union. Let's see this through. Let's be there for one another. I don't get any cards that show that this has to go in any other way except resolution. So if you're happy with that, good. It feels like you're headed in the right path. I see you guys getting back on track ultimately. We just have to talk about something. So communicate, get it in writing if you need to, commit and express appreciation, as we said earlier. All of these things will be important. Ultimately, it's pretty good. I don't see third parties creating an issue. The only thing that I don't like, to be honest here with existing relationships, one, some of you out there have a person that might be pushy in your life. The Ten of Wands in reverse is not a great attribute for a partner. This is saying that they're so used to getting their way, or they're sometimes manipulative about things that they're not letting you do what you need to do. So you definitely need to get into this powerful Queen of Pentacles energy and say, I hear you, but this is what we're doing. She's not bothered by their sort of dramatics or what they're doing. She's like, I hear you, but this is what I need right now. So definitely get some of that strength and power and dignity that she has and just say, this is what we need to do right now. Okay? It can be soft. Power can be subtle and soft and very, very succinct. But a simple no, or we said we were going to do that, we're going to do that. As sometimes that's much better than screaming it out or being pushy. So whoever it is that's trying to push you, you just have to find that inner Queen of Pentacles and you're going to be all right. All right, for those of you looking for love at this moment in time, let's see what's going on for you. I definitely see new friendships abounding. For both people that are looking for love and single and happy, focus on friendships and core relationships definitely is what I see. A lot of great work alliances coming through as well. Interestingly enough, work could lead to you meeting someone, a new bestie. This is very much best friends energy, the way it's laid out here, but it could also be love, especially when we looked at the traditional Four of Wands, which I had here. It's much more love and commitment. Okay, it's just a question of what you're looking for. But can you find it? Yeah, it's right around you. You don't have to look further than right around you. You're busy right now. You're really, really busy. This is true of everyone that's looking at this reading here. 8 of Wands and 10 of Wands. You may be working so much that you're not making time for the friends and the family. You may be working so much that you're not making time for yourself. So take a step back. If you're unemployed or retired or not working, maybe in school, it may also feel like the world is marching at this really fast pace and you're like, where am I? So ask for help if you need people to pay attention, or ask for their time. But ultimately, if you're looking for love, yes, don't rush it. Focus on organic connections and it'll be like a friend of a friend or a friend of a friend of a friend that's kind of coming through. And if we look in the past, that kind of energy would be a really nurturing energy too. We have this earthy Queen of Pentacles. What I see though with you and with your partner, since this is the past influences, both of you need to work on something internally first. So I think this month it's much better to focus on core relationships and friendships rather than looking for new love. Focus on internal development, and then that patience will pay off. Remember the number 9 being key. Maybe it's even like the 9th day of the month, or maybe in a couple of months things will be looking a lot better. But right now you got so much great energy around work and money and friends that really seems where you're headed. And this is a nice segue into those that are single and happy. All that I just said applies to you. These friendships are going to be so valuable in the coming months and coming years. That's where I would focus. Also, for those of you that are single and happy, work, new ideation and brainstorming. There's a lot of great solid energy coming from spirit. Okay? So it's a good month ahead, but be patient with yourself, be patient with others, take some time and sort yourself out if you're feeling tired or like you're going to say something that you regret. Don't. Just hold back for a second and think, how else can I state this? Is it worth it? Is this going to move the needle in the right direction, or am I just spinning my wheels, right? Now let's move to your destiny card here. We have Valiant Courage, Take Action with Passion. I love that. The card is reversed, so you may be leading the charge. To me, this is very much Six of Wands. Six of Wands reversed. Six of Wands can be a lonely card because when you're in a position of accountability, visibility, when you're at the beginning of a race and leading that charge, sometimes you're like, what do I do? Am I doing the right thing? This is something that I can't look to others for a trend or for affirmation. And so as long as you are doing what feels right to you, then success awaits. I mean, it's definitely connected to Six of Wands energy. When you look at it, to me, it feels like that. It can also be any of the Knight cards as well. But I really like the connection to success here. So what I would say for you, as we're looking at this Valiant Courage for your destiny card, have the courage to follow your convictions, to follow the path less traveled, to lead when no one else is leading. Do what's right for you, not what's popular. What's popular isn't always what's right. And I said this a couple of days ago in one of the readings this week, but the lens of history is usually more forgiving and more celebratory of people that break off and do something different. Karma as well. Karma is helping you make the right choices. And so popularity is underrated, overrated rather. It's not the reason to do something. So Six of Wands only ever gets in the way when we try to appease or please what the masses might want, instead of trying to lead them down the path that will be best for you and for them, and et cetera, et cetera. So follow your heart, have the courage to make those changes, and great things await. Let's take a look at your big idea. So this is one thing that you can take away, if nothing else, from today's reading. This is a focal point after we just talked about all of that. So let's see what's coming through for your big idea today. These cards have a life of their own. Hold on, let me reshuffle. There we go. The Nine of Cups, a very lovely celebratory card. So Nine of Cups is saying, look at the sunny side of the street. Look at the optimistic part of the equation. Look at what you can do to celebrate your success and others as well. This is a happy card, and it is reminding you of the importance of positivity in your life. Sometimes it's hard to be positive. It's hard to see that silver lining, but indeed it does exist. There is something bigger, better, and brighter on the horizon. And the more you can focus on this destination point, and the more that you can see everything in your life as being a point along the way that leads to that destination point, the better you're going to be. Okay? Emotions are running high, and you want to try to level them out as much as possible, and that's going to help you travel on that journey as well. Okay? So I want you to honor your emotions, but don't let them carry you away. I use the metaphor with the tower often as like surfing the energy of change. So imagine that you're a surfer. So you're not necessarily the wave. You're not going to be beholden to the wave. You're going to work with that energy. And with your emotions, it would be the same way. You're riding the waves, but you're not getting crashed by them. You're not waiting for them to happen and not doing anything about it. You're very much saying, I feel this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go this direction. You're using that energy and channeling it. And that's also what the Chariot is encouraging you to do in opportunities, is to just channel it and say, all right, if I'm stressed out, let's get some work done. Let me clean the house for me. Let me pack some boxes. Let's do something productive with that energy that's pent up rather than just sit here and feel the energy. You have to do something to channel the energy. All right. Just a quick midpoint here to remind you, if you enjoy what you see, subscribe and also hit that notification so you're informed of upcoming changes. Liking also helps with engagement and helps people discover it. So I just like to occasionally remind you of the importance of that. All right, let's move on to blessings and blocks. So I was mentioning earlier, I think it was associated with the Eight of Swords, to see what this might be. What is the hidden blessing? What's the opportunity? Let's take a look. Blessings and blocks. Let's see what might be helping or hindering you this month and how we can deal with both of those. Okay. Yeah, this is a beautiful deck. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. I don't use it all the time, but I really need to put this in frequent rotation. It's very good for intuitive readers. I think that there are different kinds of decks out there, like it's good to start with Rider-Waite-Smith, but this is very good for those of you that read intuitively because you see things that you wouldn't see in other decks. And that's why I own so many different decks. I like to kind of have a different vibe, like when it's sort of like, it's like a filter when you're using a different deck. You're seeing it through the lens of that illustrator. So I try to choose the filters that feel good in that day. All right, again, because I'm rambling, we're looking at blessings and blocks, things that can help, things that could possibly distract you, and we're going to focus on how to make the most of both. Blessing, Ace of Wands, block, the Five of Cups. Okay, pretty on the nose with a blessing and a block. All right, you got a lot of aces this month. Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Wands. We're just missing Ace of Cups. So Ace of Wands as your blessing, basically saying keep on developing something. Develop an idea, develop yourself, move forward with what you have in your mind or have in your heart. It definitely has the potential to go further. There could also be something really exciting that happens when you and another person get together and talk. I see brainstorming happening, and I see the ability for you to just really get inspired. Both of these cards, especially when we pull them together, so this was your center card, the Ace of Swords, and this is the Ace of Wands. So walk the walk, talk the talk, develop your ideas, and then take action on them. And that's really what you're being given an opportunity to do. Just don't worry about perfection. That's what the Ace of Wands also reminds you. It's a channeling card. So there's plenty of time later to make it quote unquote perfect or to sort of like firm up an idea. All that you have to do in this moment in time is to be present and to download mentally all this stuff, get it out there on paper, speak to other people, capture it. So this is a moment to capture inspiration. All right. You already have lightning in a bottle. Now you just have to decide what to do with it. You don't have to capture it. You just have to put it out there. Make sure that it doesn't get loose, right? Because there's this opportunity to do something really, really cool in this moment in time. So don't try to edit in real time. Edit after you've put it out there. All right. Now let's take a look at your potential block here. We have the Five of Cups. It's simply a chance to recalibrate. Always with the Five of Cups, we have a hidden advocate in your corner, the Two of Cups. There's love, there's celebration, there's a couple of new opportunities on the horizon. Yes, one or two things may not have worked out the way you thought. Yes, things may have taken longer than expected. And maybe it just didn't work. Something just didn't work. There's a grieving that needs to happen with the Five of Cups. In some decks, it almost has the energy of what you would see with death. We'll see like a person with a hood looking at something and they're focusing on letting go. And I think it's important to let go first, but then remember to look around and say, oh yeah, but I've got that. That oh yeah moment is going to be really amazing because you're going to get excited again about something. So yes, it's okay to be upset. Yes, something didn't work out the way you wanted, but ... look at what is still there. Look at who is in your corner. despite all of this, or maybe because of this. And they're like, yeah, but I see you, I value you. And if it's no one else, see that for yourself first, because the path towards the Four of Wands is self-acceptance and self-love. Holding space for that someone or something better to come into your life. So you have to see it before someone else can see it, okay? And that's really what the Five of Cups is encouraging you to do, is to shift the perspective towards love, towards positivity, towards what you can control. Because you can't change the past. You can only learn from it. But you are actively and in this moment, tangibly changing your present and your future. That's where the power is. Past is context. The past is the past. But the present is the most powerful. And it's every single thought, action, and belief is shaping your future. So focus on that, hold space for something amazing, and you're going to be in a great place. Let's move on to the viewers and the reader's choice. All right. And by the way, if you just joined, there's going to be sun, rising, and moon messages later, okay? And everything that you see here can be for sun, rising, and moon. Okay. Let me go ahead now and focus on what we're talking about, viewers and reader's choice. So we got a lot in front of us here. Let's see what's calling to me to kind of help you focus your energies. So seeing what you need to see. As I'm looking at the Eight of Swords, and for some of you, it could even be dealing with that, but seeing, and I'm going to put / accepting what's necessary. So I think that sums that up. And keeping your perspective. How about this? Resetting goals and expectations. Because that actually connects the Eight of Wands to the Chariot, and the Chariot had this opportunity to like communicate better. Patience. How to have more patience, basically, something we could all use some help with sometimes. And let me see if there's anything else that we want to focus on. I think that's enough for you, and then I'm going to look at an option while you're doing that. So while you're voting on that, let me see what is calling to me. Well, I really like the Four of Wands energy. So let's see who has, and the Four of Wands is also like this Two of Cups here. So what's the message around networking and connections this month? Okay. So let me just switch windows here so I can see what I'm doing. All right. So what's the message around networking, friendships, or key relationships this month? Kind of more broadly speaking, networking is a good way to look at it. Interesting. All right, so one of the things that could be, for some of you, even potentially blocking the growth that wants to happen with networking is self-worth or self-doubt. And the Five of Pentacles definitely feeds into both of those. So you always see shelter, usually in the way of a chapel or a place of worship or a sanctuary in the background. You usually see two figures, not always looking at each other. And what it represents is there's something amazing right behind you, right around you. But the blockage has to do with people and feelings from the past. A lot of times a rejection. And it could be in any way, shape, or form. It could be you asked someone out on a date and now you have like confidence issues because they said no. It could be a teacher that said or made a joke at your expense. It could be a parent that wasn't there to support you in the way that you needed. And this had a little bit of a ricochet effect towards the future, where there's this little reverberation where you know you can do it, you know someone's interested, but you're afraid that that past thing is going to somehow reconnect. So what I said earlier also applies here for networking. You bring great value to a situation. You are worthy of friendship, love, support, and abundance in all forms, in the highest forms. Don't sell yourself short. And that's ultimately what I would say with this, with networking. The door is open. There's someone better than who you experienced whatever that was in the past with. And so let's hold space truly like you would with the Four of Wands for that someone better. because it will be better this time. And we got the Six of Wands too. See success as the option, the only option here as you move forward. Okay, so there you go. There's a little bit of uncertainty, of self-worth. So enter into this knowing that you are equal to or greater than that energy that is meeting you. Like attracts like. Okay. All right, so let's take a look and see what you've chosen for me. By a pretty decent amount, we have seeing and accepting what's necessary. It's the Eight of Swords reversed, and that's a good message. And let's see what's coming through for this. All right, so what can we do in this moment in time to help you see what's important? What is it that's coming through here? And then also connecting the Eight of Wands with this too, like kind of helping with all of this, I think. So what's available and how can other people, how can you help others see what's available? So again, I just want to look at the exact wording of what I chose. Seeing and accepting what's necessary. Okay. All right. So some of you are having a hard time dealing with something. Let me see what it is. And we got our card for today, the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is a solitary card. And so for some of you, you may be achieving something and there's nobody there to kind of like applaud you. And you may be thinking, I wish this person was here. Or can I do this on my own? Or how can I do this on my own? You're already doing it. This is an independent, self-sufficient, successful card. So one of the things that the universe is trying to convey to you is the timing isn't what you expected. You wanted it fast. Sorry to say this card isn't fast. It is slow, deliberate, and ultimately sustainable. And it's the sustainable piece that is why it's important to take your time. So what you don't want to see, or what you might be having a hard time seeing, is why don't I have what they have now? I'm going to take a couple cards here from the Rider-Waite-Smith deck to help you see how this is not something that you need to be overly concerned about, because you're already doing exactly what you need to be doing, and everything is going to happen in the divine timing here. So I'm going to pull the traditional Nine of Pentacles. I also pulled the Queen of Pentacles, because when you sort of let it go, let everything go, she's there to show that rapid movement can happen. We also had the Tesseract here too. So I've got a message that I'm building for you here. So I wanted to show the traditional Nine of Pentacles. It came through again, so I'm like, all right, we're going to talk about my favorite aspect of it, which is the snail. So we have the snail. Nothing in these cards is accidental. You may say, well, it's just a garden, and they just chose to put a snail in there. How many other bugs do you see in the minor arcana? Not many. So this is one of the few insects that we see. So anyway, the snail is saying slow and steady wins the race. Everything about the Nine of Pentacles is rich, is lush, is fabulous. And that's what this should say, is you're fabulous. It's going to be great. You're going to be able to do this. We always see like a falcon or an eagle or some sort of bird there. And this is saying, listen to your intuition. Messages are incoming. Make sure that you're actually checking your junk folder, or make sure that you didn't miss a message, because there could be a very important message that can be that connection as well. So it's taking a little longer than you thought, the snail. But when things pick up, when you really focus on working your magic, we have the hypercube or the tesseract, which is kind of like a wormhole. You can go from point A to point B a lot faster. Then we get to that like rabbit energy of the Queen of Pentacles, absent from this deck because it's so sort of airy and ethereal. But it's important to remember that that rabbit exists there, which says once things start to happen, they happen fast. So, and then of course, Odin came through not once, but twice in his hanged man form, and also just as Odin, saying, be patient and see beyond what feels like it's a block to you. It's not a block, okay? So that's the message, that's the answer there, is that patience is being tried. You may feel alone in this moment in time, but things are going to open up for you. Relationships are going to open up for you, and you just have to trust. You're being asked to trust and see beyond. And Odin looks pretty stern here. He's like, just see it. See it, then do it. It isn't necessarily existing in your environment right now, or anywhere around you. So just see what you can get and then go after that, okay? And you got 3 aces this month. Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, and Ace of Swords. So you can do whatever. You're one shy of the magician because that's one of every suit. You already have it because you're cups anyway. So you basically are the magician this month. So you're creating what you need. All right. So, and this guy's actually holding the cup there. So be guided and trust what you're doing. You're going to be all right. All right, let's now expand the forecast. I saw someone asking if you can use it for sun, rising, and moon. Of course you can. And in this portion, we're going to be looking a little bit deeper at sun, rising, and moon. Okay, so let's do just that. And once I've pulled up all the cards, we'll do one by one and kind of break down those messages. Sun, rising, moon. All right, let's take a look first at messages for sun signs. So this is Pisces sun. If you're born under the sign, this is your message, and this is basically taking all that we've talked about today and giving it a little bit of a fine tune. All right, so we have the Four of Swords reversed. Let me just show it upright so we can take in the illustration. Look at what's on that card. Little tiny bird. And the bird is saying, hey, I have an idea for you. Hey, are you listening? The Four of Swords is a call to rest and take care of yourself. Some of you have been either not sleeping well, or you've been working too much, or there's something going on where you feel a little bit run down. So the most important thing you can do is to be patient and pump the brakes a little bit, to use an auto term. Just slow down, get to that next sort of phase, and you don't have to go high octane all the time. Pay attention to dreams. The bird and the Four of Swords representing sleep is telling you spirit is coming through in dreams. One of the best ways that you can work with your intuitive development is to start to keep a dream journal. The dream journal can be digital or it can be traditional, it doesn't matter. But track your dreams. When I woke up this morning, that coin seemed so real. I'm like, we need to talk about it. And the coin came through for you guys. And it was an ancient coin. And that tells me that you have rich knowledge from past lifetimes that's coming through. You have an idea that's worth it. So pay attention to other things that are coming through just for you. I got a general message for everyone, but if you do the same thing that I'm doing, you'll be able to pick up. Dreams are a subtle connection to your intuition, and a powerful one at that as well. So slow it down, take care of yourself, listen to those thoughts. They're guiding you in the right direction. And if you need to take a break, a holiday, or a sick day, please do so. All right. Self-care is really, really important, and it's coming through strong for Pisces sun. Let's move to rising or ascendant. For those of you with Pisces rising or ascendant, this is going to show up in work. This is also how you're projecting out to the world. It's a kind of a gut check to see if everything's going in the right direction. So we have Knight of Cups, and this is good. The next two cards are cups, so that's what I would expect. But the Knight of Cups is reversed. So for some of you are in a position right now where you're being asked to slow down. Again, there's a common message this month. Don't be afraid to slow things down. Slow down for a moment and course correct. We see this particular cup this knight with the cup on his head. So I feel like some of you have been in this balancing act, trying to make everyone happy, trying to take on a lot of energy from everyone in your life. And this is just saying, I need to unload in this moment in time. I need to free all of that for a second. You may also be looking at something and thinking, how do I feel? So any of the knights, when they're reversed, it's not necessarily saying you're headed in the wrong direction. It's saying you might need to just do this minor correction in your path or your approach. And this is about how do you feel about it. So the easiest way to kind of summarize this is if you change your reaction or your feeling or your approach, then you could get to that outcome a lot faster. People are going to feel a lot more comfortable being around you, and you're going to be happier in the long run. If you do not feel emotionally connected to what you're doing, then it can be an about face. It can be a 180 and say, I've got to change directions. But it could just be subtle and saying, I'm not going to let this person bother me, or I want to do this because it feels right, and I'm not going to worry about how others feel. It is prioritizing your feelings, however that makes sense for you. Okay? All right, let's move on to one last thing. Because I mentioned this is how you're appearing to others. People see you as creative, but but also very sensitive. And hey, I'm highly sensitive as well. Anyone watching this channel probably is tuned in and a highly sensitive person. Don't let your, I would say we're going back to the channeling and controlling emotions. I think it's important to be able to express yourself. Find a way to constructively express the emotions and to constructively channel the emotions, because then they are charging you rather than leading you. So we want them as the energy behind us, not necessarily us ducking from the sort of energy of the emotions, okay? So harness, channel, and use that emotional energy to your benefit, and share your creativity and your passion, and you'll be fine. Looking at moon messages, it's you, Pisces. We have the King of Cups, and it's a very powerful card. So this is a great month for those of you with a Pisces moon to explore relationships, to definitely tap into your creativity, to take more of a leadership role. And really, it's a nice receptive energy. To me, this is in tarot the equivalent to a gigantic satellite dish, and it's pointed in the right direction. So trust in what you're receiving and really embrace in what you're broadcasting, because it's very strong. So for you, the fact that I'm pulling your sign's card, it's just as powerful as me getting like the High Priestess or something. So really step into your power and understand. And he's kind of like sitting in what looks like a satellite dish too. Understand that how you feel, how you act is absolutely sending out like these waves, this energetic wave towards people. So the more you trust, the more you accept, and the more you embrace that power, the cooler things can start to be for you. Okay? So beautiful messages for sun, rising, and moon. Just a quick sort of check on where we're at. We're going to be taking a look at the final card here in just a few moments, which means that we'll have a quick meditation and sound bath. Again, a reminder that my schedule is going to be changing. There's a few changes on. I'll be doing the weekend reading on Saturday because I have to pack up my house behind me. And then next week, normally I would start on Monday. I'm actually physically moving Monday, so I can't. But I'll probably, and I'm waiting for internet on Tuesday. So Wednesday of next month in August, that's when I will begin. So it's probably like the 3rd or something. But more to come on my page. But this is a good time to subscribe if you've not done that, and follow me on social media as well. Okay, let's get. If you want to show any support, you can do that right now, and I'll say thank you at the end. All right, let's get ready for the meditation. Again, final card will follow. Final card is that deep question that you might have for me, that personal question that you normally would ask in a one-on-one, but you're going to ask silently, and I'll read it in just a few moments. But first, let's look at the cards and see what makes sense for today's meditation. I like the horizon here. So we're gonna focus on what it is that you're manifesting. We're gonna focus on what it is that you're calling into your life, and we're going to allow that to light a clearer path for you. Okay, that's gonna kind of be the meditation today. So get into a comfortably seated position, or lay down if you want to, if you're watching this at home or listening to it later. As you close your eyes, I want you to stretch just a little bit. Nice deep inhale, exhale. Yawn if you need to. For many of you, you might be holding on to sort of trapped energy. A yawn is a nice way for us to self-medicate and to let go of all of that. Another sort of nice deep sigh. Let it out, really let it out. And imagine now that you are sitting on the beach, or better yet, you're on a sort of private road, private path, and you see in front of you this sort of, I like the path. I like the idea of maybe being just past the forest, or you're like hiking or something, and you see this path. And the sun is at the end of the path, rising up on the horizon. So just sit down in the middle of this path. No one's coming in either direction. It's just you, nature, and the sun in front of you. And as it starts to peek up over the top of the horizon, just as you saw in this card, there are rays of light reaching in each direction, exaggerated a bit in this meditation, to the point that you see one of them, a spotlight, shining directly on you. It's encompassing your entire physical body. And it's connecting you in a way that you haven't felt before to source energy. And at its core, source energy is love. And so there's this feeling of being hugged by the divine energy, as if these arms of light are kind of reaching around you, rays of light, and you can maybe even see an angelic sort of body around you reaching out because you are protected. So Archangel Raphael feels very present and very appropriate for this. So let's call in Archangel Raphael. And for those of you that are ready to receive an energetic hug from Archangel Raphael, feel these angelic arms around you. And within them, the message is, you are perfect. You're divinely perfect. You may be working on yourself. You may have high expectations of what you need to do, but you're perfect, and you're now perfectly aligned to purpose. And the angel's pointing in front of you, and you see this path of light. And the blocks that are there or were there no longer seem as daunting. You see ways around, you see ways through. Remember, one of your symbols today was a tesseract. So the angel is showing you shortcuts, is showing you where you can't take shortcuts, and it's saying it's all part of a plan, and you are creating that plan. And this is your moment to own that power and to say to yourself, I am perfect, I am perfectly aligned, and I'm perfectly capable of handling any and everything that comes along this path in front of me. And as the sun rises in front of you, continue to feel this sense of rejuvenation, of refueling yourself. And I'm going to play a singing bowl for a moment or two, and then we'll take a look at your final card. Allow yourself now to feel that you are strong enough and capable enough of standing up strong and tall, knowing that the angel continues to be there pointing the way for you, but it's your job, it's your opportunity, it's your moment now to take that first step, just like the Fool card, and trust in the divine plan and in your capability to also be an active creator in your life. Let's get ready now for the final card. Take a moment and focus on whatever question may remain unanswered, or if there's something very specific that just didn't fit the mold of the general reading. And now is your chance to silently ask that question. Hold back from putting it in comments until after I've pulled the card. We'll see what's coming through. And we got the High Priestess, which is a fantastic card. So she did come through in the reverse state, but ultimately the High Priestess is a very powerful manifester. And she's saying, you reap what you sow. You are capable of doing great things. Trust in the magic, trust in the intuition and the guidance that's coming your way. You are guided and you are connected. The reversal of this is saying the only time that things start to go down a twisting and sort of challenging path is when you don't listen to that intuition. So if you're asking, I feel this way, should I trust that? Yes. If you're thinking, why didn't I do this? This card is saying, that's okay. Start listening now, because remember, today's message began with an Ace of Pentacles right behind or right around your ear. So Spirit's speaking to you. So all you have to do is decide, I will listen, I will do this. So there's a message beyond your question, which is you have always been guided, you are still being guided, and when you're ready and willing to listen to that, things will start to get even like easier and you'll start to feel more empowered. But ultimately, follow your intuition and don't do something that you don't like or that doesn't feel right. The High Priestess knows what to do and she needs to trust that intuition. Okay? So, my friends, let's move on to one of my favorite portions, which is gratitude. I want to say thanks to everybody who's been actually very, very supportive, not just over the past few, not since I've been doing this, but also the past few months as my schedule has been different. I was nervous that wasn't sure if everyone would tune in at different times, but it looks like we've been able to, for the most part, keep most of us here. So I can't wait to get back into a normal schedule. And I'm grateful that you're patient as I'm moving. It's going to take a few days for me to get through the move. So thanks for being patient. I have everyday things that I have to go through just like you. So a lot of love and light for the community also that we built here. I think it's a great place and there's some really amazing people. All right, I'm going to take a couple of moments here to say thank you to anybody that recently joined as a member and anyone that gave back with super stickers or super chat. All right, so to my new members, I want to say thanks to and welcome back to Melanie Schaefer, rejoining after 4 months. Kendra Johnson, a brand new member, good to have you here. Megan, I think I mentioned her yesterday, but rejoined. And I think the rest maybe, I'll just go through this really quickly to make sure that I didn't miss anyone. Adrian, looks like Yulia, and then Regina and Jonathan, let's see. All of these are brand new or consistent members. Good to have you here. Let me see if I missed anyone else. I think that's it. So thank you to all the new and returning members. It's good to have you back, or it's good to have you here. All right, I'd also like to say thanks to those who gave in the way of a super sticker today. If you're wondering what that is, it's just a way to support the channel and give back a little bit. I'm going to try to get some new decks here as soon as I've moved into the new apartment. So just waiting for that change of address to do that. All right, starting things off today was Missy Gordon. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed today. 20 Dragonfly 201. So thank you very much. And thanks for the kind wishes on the move and getting rest. It's definitely something that I plan to do. Bonnie, thank you for your kindness today. Irene and Nini and also Tracy, thank you so much. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anybody. I think I got everybody. All right. Lots of love and light to all of you. Thank you so much for being present today. Jessica, I just saw that you added one as well. Thank you. And again, a reminder that the weekend collective, the next 7-day forecast is actually going to be tomorrow instead of Sunday. And Sunday, I'll be taking the day off, maybe with exception to a 1-card pull. But otherwise, I'm going to be in the process of packing this up tomorrow afternoon. So wish me luck. Send me some good wishes as well. And I will see all of you either tomorrow or hopefully tomorrow and next week when we kick things off for the new signs. Okay? Take care of yourself. Lots of love and light. Have a great weekend and have a great month ahead. And happy belated new moon. This is a great time to set into motion new things. Okay? Take care of yourselves. And again, thank you so much. Bye-bye.